actually it was 2018 when we did this Letters of Hope activity, where on a single day we created 700 letters. Those were sent to refugee camps. And the story where it impacted me hugely was when we got replies, 30 replies from children living in refugee camps in Erbil. And when I got those in my hands, I was too excited to see the reply. But what happened was, most of them were in Arabic, and I couldn't read them. I immediately somehow managed to find a translator. And then we got those letters translated. And in each of my batches where I've, who participated in this event, and I showed those letters to these students. If there was a batch of average 60 students in a class, each and every student had tears in their eyes, because they told me that, ma'am, I don't think so we sent hope, we received hope back from the refugee camp. Because there is a big reason for it. Because the messages that were received back was about gratitude, that thank you for writing this letter. I wish I had a perfume I would wanted to send you back for writing this letter to me. One student said that, you know what, you wrote in your letter that do complete your schooling and studies, never leave it in with me. And I promise you that I'll never leave my studies. Somebody said that you said in your letter that one day I wish you'll get out of that refugee camp. And that hope I'm holding in my hands, that I will get out of the refugee camp. When I saw these students saying that, ma'am, if I can write a letter and create this impact, what is the power of writing a letter? And that moved me, and I promised in front of my students that if we can do 700 letters in one day, I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to create 7,000 letters. That was the vision I started then. I moved back to India after living in Dubai for 10 years last year, 2 years actually. And we did an activity called Letters of Hope here. And that was again something really moved me. People and said, let's write letters of hope to people living in old age homes across India. And there were students writing letters, there were old people writing letters. There was a student who wrote, you know what, I don't have grandparents. And I'm writing to you, addressing to you, thinking that you are my grandparent. Here's my number. Please call me whenever you wish to call me. A person sitting in a small central part of India in a small city, writing a letter which might land up to an old age home in Mumbai, it was magic. And then leading on from this, when I was speaking to Dr. Snakshi and we were discussing that what can we do on World Mental Health Day, I said let's do something around letters, because when I think Dr. Banerjee, Shashi Banerjee was saying it was all about, grandparents being heard. We create activities in a school that grandparents being heard. And that says a lot, isn't it? That when we are able to channelize our expressions, our emotions and express it, they don't trouble us inside of us. We want to be heard, we want to express, and it's all about that. Where there is steam, if it's not let it out, it's going to blast one day. So if we have enough opportunities for people to express, and I feel letters are such a tangible form of expressions that 2 years back when my students have written letters to me, they're there in my wall, and I can literally physically go and touch them and go back to that emotion anytime. We started Letters of Gratitude and we did an event here with Amity with over 100 students. Before that, I've been doing Letters of Hope and Gratitude with young adults writing letters to parents for over a month now. And I feel that's gold mine that I've got. There is a teenage student writing a letter prior to Amity event, which she's saying that, you know what, I'm writing this to my mother and my father, and I'm saying sometimes at 2 a.m. I get up from my room and I come to knock your door, but I stop there and go back. Because I feel, I don't know what you'll think if I say something right now at 2 a.m. I feel I don't have to, I want all of you to know that I don't want to call my friends at that moment, but come to you. And I'm just glad that when that letter reaches the parent, I think something in that house will change around expression. That's for sure. Because if I am summarizing these letters and putting them on a video and sharing it, a lot of other parents will resonate, okay, maybe my child is also going through this. maybe I can just check on them. My mission is 7,000 letters this year, and after that, something on letters of gratitude, hope for every segment of the society. I think I'm going to do this all my life. No matter what I do professionally, my heart goes here. And you saw the video just now, 3 students speaking about Manasa, the first student. She raised a very important point, and she said, that's my love language. I want to be touched and hugged, but not necessarily that her parents know that that's her love language. And when they get to know through this letter, I think they're going to hug Manasa more often. And that's it. It was just that one letter that can bridge that gap. And you know what? My last statement would be, there was a student who said on that day that I felt kind of weird when I was expressing my emotions to my family and parents. And I said, I'm aiming to make that weird normal. That it's no more weird and embarrassing to write letters and to express emotions to our parents and family and siblings. And that's what we aim to do with this.
And I'm a second year psychology student at Amity University Dubai. And the letter of gratitude I wrote is to my little brother who is 11 years old. His name is Muhammad Ali, and he is in the meeting right now. The reason I addressed this letter to him is because he's the youngest one, and I know that he gets pampered quite often and the most. But at the same time, I feel that the little efforts that he makes are often unnoticed because he's the youngest one. So, Ali, I have a letter for you. Okay,
I didn't know Saiba was going to write me a letter. I thought she was just going to give a speech. So I'm happy because Saiba wrote a letter for me. And I'm excited and thank you.
Say a massive thank you to everyone who put in the time and effort in organizing today's event, because I'm sure it was not an easy feat considering, you know, the current circumstances. And also about writing this letter, I don't think I would have had it in me to just pour all these emotions out, but thank you for giving me the push.
Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for inviting me to be a part of such an important day. It's an honor. Actually, I'm speechless. Shana, thank you for your loving words, baby. Right now, I'm overwhelmed and unable to exactly articulate how I feel, what I feel. But thank you, my baby, for making my day a lot brighter. I'm so proud of you, my angel.
I wrote a letter to my younger sister because I feel like a lot of people her age, she's 19, and I feel like a lot of people her age get into self-doubt, and they start thinking like about their self-worth and where they're going with their life and all of those things. And amidst all of that, you can forget that you're loved. And so I wrote this letter to remind her that that you're loved. And if you could go back to the time and remember, like, for example, I remember when she was born, I was 4 years old, and I was so excited when my parents brought her home. And I had loved her since that day, and I feel like if she could see herself from my eyes, it would really change her perspective, because she would see how loved and valued she is, even if she does nothing. Like, productivity does not mean that you would be loved, you know. So here goes my letter.
Sure, I would just like to say thank you for organizing this, and like, I don't think that we would have spoken this way otherwise. Like, we do speak like this, but not quite in so much detail. So just thank you for bringing this out, I guess. I don't really know how to word it.
I mean, without me putting any words to it, I think we've seen in the screen the smiles when everybody was reading letters and people were at the receiving end. The emotions that flew in. Thankfully, we had a mix of one person writing a letter to brother, one to sister, and one to a mom. And you can see the impact. I know for sure, Ali, in the age he is in right now, he's not going to forget this event ever in his life. No matter how short this phase and the momentary it was, that young mind is not going to forget this ever.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it, Ali?
Yes, ma'am.
Ali, can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Ever received a letter from someone? Was this your first letter from the family?
Yes, ma'am.
First one. Okay. Would you like to write a letter to your family today?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
That's wonderful. And how do you feel after listening to the letter? Would you like to say?
I feel happy and good that Saima wrote me a letter and I'm happy for her and me.
And it's nice all, isn't it? Look at this. At time, I've seen siblings, people coming over counseling sessions here, one-to-one sessions, and they said, you know what, I wish I can say a few things to my brother right now, but there is so much of distance and blockage that I can't. And if it's there nurtured, the expression zone from the start, I think we'll have very less inhibitions to speak about it. I think coming back to what Sabika said, and I remember, because I've read these letters already in advance, so I knew what they were going to say. Sabika, on that day when we were actually doing this letter, also said this beautiful line, which she repeated to me, that I wish, if I'm pronouncing it right, Shaima, right? If Shaima can see herself through my eyes, she will look at herself differently. And I think it's very important, if our loved ones can see themselves through our eyes, they will see themselves more beautiful, more valued, more loved, more wanted, more needed. And it can change the way we look at ourselves. So you made a very important point, Sabika, that I wish Shaima can look at herself through my eyes. A mother receiving a letter like that too in a public zone, I'm sure there are parents here who can understand. I have 2 kids and I know what can it mean when you receive that. Thanking her on every single phase of her life, be it a driving license, be it on the zone when she used to come and nag. This is precious. This is precious than any gift that a mother can receive in her whole life. So my summarization is, let's get more events where people get to write letters, whether it is about gratitude, appreciation, love, hope. And I am going to do this more often, whether it's in schools, whether it's in a college, or wherever it is. This is really precious. Made my day.